Okay, so last lesson of the week is 3.12, determining the equation of a line. So we've looked at slope formulas before, and when we get a slope of a line segment having endpoints, so one coordinate and another coordinate, it can be calculated using the following formula. So this is something that you're definitely going to want to take a peek at here and highlight. So m, or the slope, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where the ones beside the x's and y's are just the points. So this being 0.1 and that being 0.2. So our job is to determine the equation of a line given 2 points on the line. And from there, we're able to put it in the form of y equals mx plus b when you have the slope and the x and y on the line. From that, we're going to put this all together now and use the 2 points to find slope. Then we're going to pick 2 points to substitute into the equation, so the x and y. And then from there, we're able to find b and finally come up with our final form. So if we draw this out, and bear with me the best we can, I'm going to call this, so 17 P1, okay, and 311 P2. All right. So if we want to substitute that into our equation, so we know that m equals, okay, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we know that, obviously, again, this being x and that being y. So if we filled in our numbers there for our equation, sorry once again if the writing isn't super neat, but our y2 would be 11. This would be 11 minus our y1, which is 7 in this case. And then we'd fill in our x2, which is from 0.2, which is the 3. Okay. And then subtract 1. So from here, we would get 11 minus 7, which would be 4. And 3 minus 1 being 2. And we can just reduce that to be 2. Okay. So now we know that our slope is 2, and we can figure out the rest of the equation based on what we did in our last lesson. So we know that y equals mx plus b. We know that m equals 2. And we have a point which we can sub in for x and y. So in this case, I'm just going to use 0.1, so 1 and 7, and we can sub this all in, where x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 7. So y equals mx plus b, we already know, so 7 in for y equals 2, which is our slope, our x being 1 plus b, because we don't know it. So 7 equals 2 times 1 being 2 plus b. If we want to keep b by itself, we have to move 2 to the other side. Since it's positive, it will become negative. And then it will be 5 will be our answer for b. So from here, we can go and just continue this on to write out 2x, because we know the slope, plus 5 being our answer. And that is it. And your job, we'll go through one more example, okay? So 0.1 being this one here, and 0.2 being right here. So if we set up, just like we did up here, y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. So we know that slope is equal to y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. And then we fill in the following. So y2 being over here, which would be 2, subtracted, or we subtract negative 3. Okay. And then we've got x2 being 6, and we subtract 9. So 2 subtract negative 3, so 2 negatives equal a positive, being 5. And then we know that 6 minus 9 being negative 3, and we move that negative sign to the top. Okay. If we carry on with this to finish the rest, it will look something like this. So we know y equals mx plus b. We know that m is equal to negative 5 over 3. And then we have an x and a y point. So if we just use our first coordinate, 9 and negative 3, we know that x is equal to 9 and y is equal to negative 3. Okay. So if we just continue on with this and fill it in, y is negative 3 equals, we know our slope is negative 5 over 3 multiplied by x, which is 9, and then our unknown once again being b. So if we go and do the multiplication here, I'll just draw it up again so I can show you. So we'd have negative 5, sorry, that's not a great 5, over 3 multiplied by 9 over 1. So negative 5 times 9 being negative 45. And then 3 times 1 being 3. So negative 45 divided by 3 being negative 15. Okay. So if we continue on with this, negative 15 plus b. If we're moving that negative 15 to the other side, it becomes positive. So plus 15 equals b. Negative 3 plus 15 equals positive 12. And therefore we can fill in the rest. So y equals negative 5 over 3 plus 12. Negative 5 over 3x. Sorry, plus 12. And that is all.